Brent Porcio, TopVelocity.net. Pitch analysis here, John. We're going to pair him up with Cody Hall. Coming out of leg lift for both of them here, we can see very similar. I would say Cody probably not leaning as far back as John, more flexion in the drive leg. So just before leg drive, Cody's got a lot of momentum. You can see just before leg drive here, I would say John maybe a little bit less momentum. That's probably why Cody's, even though he hasn't opened, his lift leg is getting out and getting ready for braking. We can also see Cody here more counter-rotated in the trunk. So these are things that would just add to the dynamics for you, John, to getting more explosive, getting more separation, ultimately what we're going to learn here coming into leg drive. So you see Cody open front foot. You see trip extension, back leg into front foot strike. So you see open here. You see more rotation, as you can see that heel. So when I see that heel coming up, okay, I'd say there's drive there, but there's a lot of rotation. As you can see, that knee down went down pretty hard. A little bit more rotation than drive. You see with Cody here, you don't see the heel popping up. You see the shin continue to move down as he goes forward. So it's close, but I'd say a little bit more rotation out of you, as you can see right there. The toes kind of curled up. A little bit more than Cody. I wouldn't say it's dramatic, but meaning you could get more drive force into front foot strike. And then when you land here, and then your arm cocks here, I mean, good separation, good delayed time in a trunk. You can see Cody, when he gets the same place, the difference would be glove side, not as tuck. So ultimately, it was being in a more counter-rotated position for Cody. So right here, when he went into leg drive, notice the shoulder orientation as he's extending and driving. If we go back there for you, as you're extending and driving, your shoulders are not as closed. You know, like for Cody, his elbow's almost right behind that shoulder. We can see yours pretty far out here. So that's the only thing you could work on, even closing a little bit more. But here's the thing, when you close more, it's going to be harder to drive. So we're going to also have to get more powerful in our drives. Because you can see you're opening a little bit earlier than Cody. Right here, your front foot is almost completely open. His is still closed. He's very late to opening. Okay, so that means, you know, the later we are to opening, the more power we have to have through our back leg drive. So he's doing all these things really good. These are just real details for you to kind of take it to the next level. But I like what I'm seeing with you. At front foot, like I said, Cody's a little bit more closed. When Cody goes into chest thrust, external rotation, okay, you can see when you come into rotation, your elbow's getting a little bit far over your head, but I'd say in Cody, so basically Cody's going a little bit earlier internal rotation. You're a little late to internal rotate, and I think that just has to do with your hips are probably later to open, and you didn't have it. Well, I would say the hips later to open. It more looks like your trunk didn't get as much energy at front foot. And that's more than likely because you didn't get enough power out of your back leg. And we can continue to see that as your leg really sucks up a little bit harder here, and you drive to really kind of finish it. All good things, but if you would have had a little bit more drive power into that position, your arm would have delayed behind your trunk longer, with your trunk longer. And then you would have added in the 2X, the double extension front leg. That would have been icing on the cake. So you even see you do that better than Cody. Cody doesn't get that extension. This pitch for here on Cody was 96 miles an hour. You know, he's 235. So, you know, the things you're doing better than him is at front foot strike to release. But he's getting more hip to shoulder separation at front foot than you, more drive power at front foot than you, probably more momentum. And then also that he's probably more than likely bigger, and, you know, he's moving a bigger mass than you. So, you know, if you move through, you know, the same mechanics, or say yours gets better, you work on that back leg power, that more hip to shoulder separation, and then you get up to his body weight, you know, I'm no doubt you'd be probably throwing with your good front leg well over 95, 96 at that point. So I think the keys coming out of this for you is working on those initial movements, working on bigger, stronger, faster, and then working, and ultimately that should have a huge improvement on your velocity.